Okay, let's try a bit of a more advanced setup here, requiring a little more configuration. Once again, with the Cryostat 4.0 release preview, we're going to be looking once again at the Operator Autoconfiguration feature for the Cryostat agent. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is add an application to my namespace here as the developer perspective. And as you can see, what I want to configure is a WildFly application. So if you're using WildFly or JBoss EAP, or probably any other more sophisticated application server type deployment, things won't always work just with the previous configuration examples that I've shown. The reason being that these application servers have, like I said, a more sophisticated setup. They have custom class loaders, they have a module system to try to isolate things from each other. So what we're going to find with this is that the default behavior of the operator autoconfiguration, where it uses the environment variable called Java tool options to instrument your application and add things like the -Java agent JVM flag, which tells your JVM how to load the Cryostat agent. That mechanism doesn't always work as intended when you're dealing with these application servers that have like I said, a more sophisticated system of class loaders and modules and isolation and things. So we'll go ahead, we're going to create this deployment with this bare bones WildFly image. This is WildFly 28. I know that back to WildFly 23 also has the same module ops variable that we're going to be looking at. And I don't think it goes back any further than that. So this is relevant for 23, 28, versions like that. So what we're going to do is use our typical deployment spec template metadata labels. Just like before, if you're not sure what I'm doing here, go ahead and watch some of the previous demos that I've uploaded recently on my channel here, and you'll see more explanation of what this is. Let's go ahead and save that modification. We'll see the pod come back up here in just a moment. It's running, and we see its error, right? It's running again, and on our left side we have the admin view with the Cryostat UI. We have a crash loop going on, right? So if we look at the logs quickly, we can catch them. We see things about the agent, illegal state, connections allocated, right? This is not working as intended. This would probably be pretty difficult to debug if you were just doing this on your own, so I figured it would be helpful to put this out there and show how to get around this if you're using WildFly. So let's go ahead and scale this pod down and prevent that crash loop from just going over and over again. Looks like my Cryostat UI here on this side is a little bit confused what's happening, so let's go ahead and just refresh that page. So what we need to do is, like I said, the default behavior of the operator autoconfiguration is to use that environment variable called Java tool options. So what that means is basically if we were to look at, actually let's go over here. If we look at the pod after we scale it back up, so we look at one of these pods and see the environment, we see that a whole bunch of environment variables here have been defined by the operator autoconfiguration. This is how it actually works in practice. It adds a lot of these configurations for you. And basically this, Java tool options, is what we need to change. So for WildFly, there's more details. You can look it up for WildFly or for JBoss EAP. But there's an environment variable that we should be using instead called module ops. So very simple. How we're going to tell the Cryostat agent to use that instead is we do this cryostat.io/Java options var, and basically the default behavior is that it works like this, right? It uses that Java tool options that I mentioned, and if I were to do this, it would do the same thing that it already did by default. So what I'm going to do is modify this, and like I said, I happen to know that the correct thing to do is to use module ops. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's scale this pod up. So we'll go ahead and do this, and pod initializing. So now if we go to our environment and check this out, we can see that now our -Java agent JVM flag, like I said, is now using an environment variable with the name module ops instead. So that's what we expected to happen. And if we go ahead and view the logs for this pod, now we can see that it's nice and happy, right? It's no longer crash looping. We can see a little error message here. It's actually just an info statement from on standard error. But it's a log message from the Cryostat agent, talking about how it's running and all the things that it's doing. We can see a lot more of that here. Startup complete, right? Publish success. So the agent is working as expected. It's doing what it should be doing. And we can go ahead and do things like scaling up this deployment. So now we need 2 replicas of our WildFly here, and we'll see the second one should come up successfully, and it'll appear here as well, and there it is, right? Very simple. So that's how you deal with this kind of problem for WildFly or JBoss, and probably other similar application servers that you might use from other vendors as well. Okay, that's it for today's demo. Very short and sweet, and try it out if you're using WildFly or JBoss. Let me know if you have any other application servers that require other kinds of environment variable names. I'd be very curious to hear about your experiences. Okay, thanks for watching.